Hill North, 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse. We are here every single month celebrating the CNS North Stars that are a couple minutes up the road from Heritage Hill. And of course, for Dan Palladino and the entire team, we appreciate Heritage Hill for being our exclusive studio partner, and of course for being so welcoming the CNS into the North Stars every single week after opening up just a few weeks ago, which is crazy to think that they've only been here a few weeks. So head coach Stephanie Prentice is here with me, and we also have Marissa Doty of the CNS North Stars girls lacrosse team. Please give them a round of applause and show Coach and Marissa some love here. So Coach, you told me that I should feel very proud because you're typically not doing the interviews.
I do not like to do that. No.
So I want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
And you and I were talking off the air about team, the collective more than the individual. What has this team shown you specifically this season that you've become most proud of?
Honestly, their grit and determination as a team, it's just unmatched. I mean, it's not something that we can necessarily teach, but they just don't give up. And we went down to Maryland and played a team, and really, I won't say what I really said to the girls, and nothing bad, but I call it the very terrible, horrible, no good, very bad ref that we had. We had 8 yellow cards. We're 2-man down for about the whole second half of the game. And we went into red for an entire quarter, which, is you pull your goalie and you double and you're all over the field. And we did that for about 12 minutes of a quarter and scored 3 goals and had 5 turnovers, 2-man down on, both ends of the field. And these girls just, until that clock hit 0, they didn't stop. And, the refs were amazed, the parents were amazed. And the girls just, they don't give up, they don't stop, and that to me makes a difference in any of the games we play. When we came back the next day and we buried the team down there the next day. So it just, their grit and determination, we can't teach it, it's just there. It's amazing.
Well, you talked about the fact that things you can't control, right? And I feel like so much of the stress in anybody's life comes from what you can't control. People, places, and things. And what you realize the older you get is the only thing you can control are your words and your actions.
Yep.
So when your team went through all this stuff that they could not control, and you saw them rise to the occasion and then, like you say, bury the team the next day, what did that show you about that point in the season of that, like you talked about, that grit and that dog? We talk about that mentality. There's just certain people, certain teams that just have a killer instinct. Did you know it was in them, or did that game have to kind of happen to bring it out of them?
No, I knew it was in them. I mean, we, a lot of these girls were on the team last year too, and we just had that drive every game. We just did not give up ever. So I knew it was in them, but that definitely kind of, I think they realized it during that game and that perspective. And that mindset was we really do have, something great here, and if we just keep working hard, it'll come together. And I think they realized it more than we did, what they have, but we talk a ton about the things that we can control. Those are the things that we can work on, and we control our accountability, we control our effort, and how we are as a team. So, I think they realized.
I saw it. Marissa, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So you heard Coach speak about that game with so much adversity out of your control in a lot of ways. What did you see out of yourself and your teammates in that game?
I think just not giving up. Like you said, we were man down almost the whole game. We ended up getting 4-man down at one point, and we were still giving it our all and putting in 110% effort, even though the score wasn't close and the people on the field weren't close. So I definitely think perseverance is something that I would take looking at.
What have you learned most about yourself this season?
Probably, I think I've definitely become a better leader this season. I was the captain on the team, and I think I stepped up more this season than I have in the past, with a bunch of different things, like in practice, in games, just getting the energy up before games, stuff like that.
So, like you said, being a captain and you become more of a leader, how would you, in this moment, define leadership?
guess just like understanding everyone and not putting yourself above people. Like you're still on the same level as them, and just kind of helping people out, stuff like that.
You heard the tell me something good before. Marissa, you get to tell me something good about Coach while Coach is sitting right next to you.
I think one of the biggest things she contributes to the team is like adjusting. Like a lot of games, like stuff's not going our way, she really just keeps the team composed. Also when we're like not having a great game or like someone does something wrong, like she never gets mad at us ever, and she'll just like help you understand things instead of yelling at you.
Coach, tell me something good about Marissa.
It actually just happened the other day in our Liverpool game. And I literally texted her mom and said I'm proud to have her on her sideline after our Liverpool game. And they captured a couple pictures of her. And she went over and hugged the Liverpool player and was consoling her after the game because we had won and the girl was really upset. And she went over and talking about a leader, she leads by action, you know, not necessarily by voice or, but just does the things that kind of lead CNS Lacrosse and what we try to create and promote and what I believe in. And so, I couldn't have been prouder when I saw that picture, truly.
You know, and Marissa, I want to go back to you for this. Why do that? I mean, there's such a rivalry between CNS and Liverpool. Why, in a moment of celebration, in a moment of jubilation for your team, did you go to the other sideline and lift up somebody who was on the other side of it?
Well, I used to play club with the girl, so I know her. I know that she's a senior, and I obviously went to my team first and was happy about our win, but she was on the ground crying, and I knew like it was her last game, and I know kind of how that feels because I just went through the same thing with indoor track, so I kind of knew where her head was at, and I knew she needed someone to lead her.
We clap it up for sportsmanship. We need to see sportsmanship more these days. A lot more than sportsmanship. So, Marissa, I'm going to stick with you for this. We have a game tomorrow. States are right in front of you.
Yeah.
From the beginning moment of this team this season to where you are right now, why is this team playing its best lacrosse heading into the game against Corning Painted Post?
I mean, I definitely think we've gotten better as lacrosse players, but I think our biggest thing is that the team is just closer than we've ever been. Like, we're all best friends, and we just lean on each other for everything. So I think that's just a big part of all of our wins. We're always happy for each other. Like, we're not as worried about stats. Like, whoever gets a goal, everyone's happy for them, things like that.
Coach, for you, I asked you to tell me something good about Marissa, and you did. And Marissa, I appreciate that. I really do. That's something, put that in your back pocket and take that for the rest of your life. It's going to get you farther in life than most people. Coach, you said something good about Marissa, but your entire team, the collective, as we head into this state playoff game, tell me something good about CNS North Stars girls lacrosse in 2024 as a whole.
I think the biggest thing is that they're always eager to learn, always ready to learn, always ready to progress. It's we talked about, I think Gabby said it, Coach Bree actually said it the first time at the beginning of the season, we set the standard, and every day we try to beat that standard, and I always tell the girls, be better than you were yesterday, today, and you'll do great. And these girls kind of embody that and really try to push themselves, try to learn, try to work hard. But they want to do better every game, and they want to win. And again, those are sometimes things you can't teach. It has to come from within.
And your student athlete spoke about 1 in 15 to where you stand today. How did you see that start to shift? Because so many people look at success, but they don't look at all of the stuff that you don't see. The blood, sweat, and tears, the years, the weeks, the months, the day, all that stuff that goes into fighting to be better every single day than you were the day before. So when did you start to see that shift happen, and what can you say about watching the process?
So I will say it started with our first team in 2021. We kind of really, somehow, I don't even know how I did it, to be honest with you, but we really quickly developed that mindset of winning and setting that standard, and we did that then, and the girls bought into it, and every game that season we just got better, worked harder. The girls started to come together. There was talent, it was not the talent that has ever been an issue. But I will also say this team here sitting in front of us, I know I've been working with these girls, and some of these girls' parents have been in our youth group and since they were little. And all of those people that have kind of come along this journey with these girls have really helped them grow into who they are and as players. And I think the shift happened pretty quickly, which I will say that our coaching staff is really proud of. We're proud of ourselves, we're proud of the girls. But it's been a journey when these kids were little, and these girls have really put the time in, and then it shows, and that's why they sit where they are right now. So, it's a testament to the parents that were part of the youth group, the girls themselves, the parents that got them everywhere that we go. I think I would say that, parents from other school districts are jealous of what we have at our program because these girls put the time in and get out of it what they put in. So.
And I have to ask you this before rapid fire because I just want to, because you and I were talking about it off the air, and my little sister, you said you got to see her play.
I did.
It's been a long process. I remember her telling me she drove home one night and couldn't see and went through so much, didn't know what it was for 2 years. And then when we found out what it was, she said, 2 weeks from now, the doctor said I would be in a coma. And a couple weeks ago, she's playing in an NCAA tournament for Stony Brook. What do you want to say about Franny, who obviously went to school at CNS, and what it meant for you to be connected to her and to see her on the field?
Well, I will say that, at first she was probably my first supporter, first one in my, support reel to kind of encourage me to keep fighting and keep pushing. I think I learned as a coach, jumping back in after 10 years of not coaching, she really pushed me to be better every single day because I wanted everything to be great for her and her teammates that, we're 1 in 15. So she really pushed me to be a better coach, a better person, and I think, what I said about Brooke earlier, she was another one, that led CNS Lacrosse and wanted to win for our program, and that's something that I always hold dear. I was part of that program that started the excellence at CNS, and I really want to bring that back, and that was the goal when I took over in 2021, and Fran was an integral part of that success, and along with the other girls that were with her, but she has always kind of been the epitome of what hard work and dedication and brings to the table. And so I was in tears when I saw her on the field, I will say. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's good to see her back for sure. And to know that I told her she might as well just become a doctor because she's got her eligibility. So I said, get your doctorate. So we're going to go to rapid fire. Marissa, I'm going to start with you. You get to ask me the first question.
If you could be any animal in the world, what would you be?
Oh, man. If I was a dinosaur, I would have been an Ultrasaurus because they were the tallest, or a Velociraptor because they're really smart and awesome. They actually said if Velociraptors existed today with human beings, we would be slaves to them because they have their own language, they can train themselves, they can learn how to open things, and so human beings would actually be next under Velociraptors, which is crazy. But if I had to pick something here today, my dog Lily is the best daughter ever. So I would be a dog because I feel like I can be a better father every day, and she treats me like I'm the greatest thing ever. And coming home and I just came home from Florida, seeing her, and all she wanted to do, as soon as I came home, she got on the bed and she went to my pillow and she curled up and laid on my pillow, And so when I laid down to go to sleep, her like body was wrapped around my head. She had to be as close as she could be. And so I'd probably be a dog, for sure. All right, Marissa. Marissa, I want to know food-wise. There's one food that's your go-to. You can eat it every day. It could be a snack, could be an actual meal. But the one food that you cannot live without, that you'll never get sick of. And then the second part is, what's the one thing that exists in grocery stores, food-wise, that you would erase from history?
One food I couldn't live without is sushi.
Sushi?
I
Okay.
am always craving sushi.
Okay.
Always.
All right.
And then one food I would erase from grocery stores. Cherry tomatoes.
Cherry tomatoes?
I hate cherry tomatoes.
Hey, cherry. I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not a fan of them either. I never eat them. There's people that eat them like they're like grapes, and it's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. Mine's black licorice. That's one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. What do you got for me?
All right. What is your favorite sport?
I mean, I've grown to love so many that I was never around. Like, I learned about lacrosse doing statistics, and obviously Sam and Fran. And then I learned about soccer from coaching it. I never played it, and I ended up coaching when I got out of college. So my favorite, it's got to be the one I played since I was little that I shut my brain off, and it's basketball. I don't need anybody there. I don't need any music. I just go there to shut my mind off and kind of clear myself. And I'm a shooter. I'm like a half court. If I don't make it, I'm gonna keep shooting until I make it. Like I will challenge myself. I never take it easy on myself on the court, whether I'm playing against somebody or it's just me. So I would probably say basketball, but I blame Fran and Sam for getting me around lacrosse as much as I did.
That's funny.
And now I love watching it. And when people watch men's lacrosse and they don't watch women's lacrosse, I get very angry. Mm-hmm. I get very defensive. So if you haven't gone to a women's lacrosse game or a girls lacrosse game, I probably don't respect you as much.
Yeah.
And I think you should come out.
Yeah.
So my question for you, Coach, if you weren't coaching, what profession would you be doing? And secondly, what profession would you never do?
Well, my family says I should be a lawyer
Okay.
because I'm very good at debating
Okay.
and I don't give up.
Okay, I like that. I respect
But
that.
that's also a job I would never want to do.
Okay, so being a lawyer for both.
Yes.
All right, fair enough. Marissa, what's your last question for me?
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a tough one, right?
It is. I have lived there before. And some people ask me why I came back. I came back because I love my community. But I kind of live in both worlds. And everybody says I have dual residency, is in the state of Florida. And I mean, I do so much there. I'm there every month or every other month and cover the Jaguars, UCF, South Florida, the Rays, the Bucks, the Dolphins, the Magic. So I'd probably say I live in Florida. I got 2 nieces down there. Some of my closest friends, family, Papa Joe and Mary, who are like other parents to me. My big brother Joey's down there. So I feel like it would be so easy to pick Florida without even thinking about it. But I go back and forth that I don't really feel like I'm not there, if that makes sense. All right, Marissa, I'm going to throw it back to you. If you could live anywhere in the world, and I want to see if your teammates are paying attention right now. I'm going to see if I can get some of them off their phones right now. You can live anywhere in the world. Where do you live? And which one of your teammates becomes your roommate?
Oh.
I'd honestly probably pick Taylor Patty. Just because she's like quiet, so I know that she'll like if I'm like in a bad mood or something, like she'll like give me my space, but she's also really fun to hang out with. Like when you get to know her, she's very quiet, but when you get to know her, she's super fun.
Okay.
So probably Taylor Petty. And I'd probably live in, I don't know, cause like I like the sun, but I also ski, so like somewhere with both. I don't know.
Maybe North Carolina?
Yeah.
It's got beaches and mountains.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Somewhere with sun and
Yeah, like
winter.
the seasons we have.
Okay. Maybe you stay here.
Yeah, maybe I stay
You can live here. All right. Coach, what's your last one for me?
Why did you become and do the job you do?
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I love bringing people together. I mean, I started this business when podcasting was like not a known thing, and my producer was like, hey, you should try this. And I was on traditional radio. I was on 3 different ESPN affiliates in 3 different states. And 26 years old, the last company I was working for, my bosses lied to me. I don't like that stuff. I believe in God. I have morals and values. They didn't. So at 26 years old, I had 27 cents in my pocket. I had $103 in my bank account. And I was taking care of my grandmother, G-Mom, on my mom's mom. I was taking care of her and living there to make sure that she could stay at home because she's incredible. And I started my business. Why do I do it? I like to make people laugh. I like to make people think. I like to be challenged by people to be a better person. I want to show the world that there are good people in the media that are honest and tell the truth. And I love people. I want my world to be tiny in a good way, and I want to make a difference. And I was going to talk about this stuff anyways, so I turned on a mic, and probably the worst mistake that anybody in high school ever made was they wanted me to shut up, and then I turned on a mic for a living. So,
Gotcha.
so yeah, I would say if you have something you believe in and you think it's impossible, take the quote that my mom gave me for my first apartment, which is hope makes the impossible possible. And that hope sign is right over my left shoulder in my studio to this day.
That's awesome.
So, Coach, I get the final question. Coach, if you had to go on tour
Oh gosh.
with one singer,
Oh gosh.
one comedian, and one actor or actress,
Oh gosh.
who is on the Coach Prentice tour bus?
Oh goodness. That's a tough one. Well, I think Kevin Hart is hilarious, so he would probably fill both of those. He's an actor and a comedian, right?
Okay.
So he's funny.
All right.
Maybe The Rock. I think The Rock's hilarious.
Yeah, well, that's his +1. They are
Yeah,
dating, I think.
Exactly.
Kevin
See?
Hart and The Rock.
So maybe the two of them.
Yeah.
Singer, I don't know. That's tough. I'm not really a music person.
Okay.
If I could, if he was still alive, it would definitely be Biggie.
Biggie?
He's our family hero in
Oh,
our house.
does people not know that Rick Ross stole that from
I
Biggie?
know.
That whole thing of like, that sounds like he's having trouble breathing? That's from Notorious B.I.G. Oh, it's the same thing
Yeah.
all the time. So you would have Biggie,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, and The Rock.
Yep.
That's a good bus.
I know it is. It's
That's a
hilarious,
fun
yeah.
bus.
I know.
I like that. But Marissa, you like that bus?
Yeah.
Can you get around that bus? You be okay with that bus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like Kevin Hart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who doesn't like Kevin
I know.
Hart?
He's hilarious.
Okay. 2 of my friends didn't like Kevin Hart. We're not friends anymore.
Understandable.
He's hilarious.
We're very much not friends. So, with that being said, for head coach Stephanie Prentice, for Marissa Doty, for myself, Dan Tortora, this has been a special at Heritage Hill North featuring CNS North Stars Girls Lacrosse, and they have a run toward a state title that starts tomorrow. So y'all better be out there. Thanks, guys.